Imagine walking into a courtroom where there are no law books, no written constitution, no lawyers carrying thick files, no judges reading from legal codes. Yet, every person knows exactly what justice looks like. Disputes are settled peacefully, murderers are punished, land belongs to the rightful owners, families inherit properties according to rules everyone respects, and the kingdom flourished for centuries. How could civilizations govern millions of people without writing their laws down? The answer lies in one of Africa's greatest forgotten achievements, a legal system so powerful that it lived not on paper but on human memory. Good morning. Our topic for today is the forgotten laws of Africa. How kingdoms rule without written books. The law that lived in people's mind. For thousands of years, many African societies relied on oral laws rather than written legislation. These laws were carefully memorized and passed from one generation to another. Chiefs, village elders, royal advisors, priests, and especially trained historians all served as living libraries. They remembered legal precedents, family histories, land boundaries, and customs with astonishing accuracy. To forget the law was considered a failure of leadership. In these societies, memory itself became the law library. These are some of the pictures, how the laws were governed. African elders deliberating on a case. Justice was public, not hidden. Unlike many modern courtrooms, justice was often carried out in public. Entire communities gathered beneath large trees or inside royal courtyards. Everyone could witness the proceedings. Witnesses spoke openly. Elders questioned both sides. Family members could testify. The goal was not simply punishment, it was restoring peace. A judgment that divided the community was often considered a failure, a failed judgment. Justice focused on repairing relationships rather than creating permanent enemies. This is a courtyard where under a large tree where they sit and then they discuss matters. Under a tree they sit and then they discuss. The forgotten judges of great kingdoms. Some of Africa's greatest kingdoms developed remarkable sophisticated legal systems. In the kingdom of Benin, palace chiefs handled disputes according to long established custom. Among the Ashanti Empire, Legal cases could move through different levels of authority before reaching the Asante. In the Kingdom of Congo, council of nobles and local leaders interpret customary laws. These were not random decisions. They follow legal tradition refined over generations. Long before European court arrived, African kingdom had already built complex systems of justice. Long before European court arrived, African kingdom had already built complex system of justice. Some structures of the legal system. No. The African way. A different way of punishing crime. Many people assume ancient justice was always harsh. The reality was often more balanced. If someone stole livestock, they might compensate the owner instead of being imprisoned. If families fought over land, respected elders negotiated the agreement. If conflict threatened the community, reconciliation was often preferred over revenge. The purpose of justice was not simply to punish, it was to restore harmony because a divided village was considered weaker than a united one. It was to restore harmony because a divided village was considered weaker than a united one. This philosophy survives in parts of Africa today through customary courts and traditional mediation. The secret keepers of the law. One remarkable feature rarely discussed is the role of oral historians. Across West Africa, griots memorized family histories, royal genealogies, treaties, and important legal decisions. Elsewhere, respected elders carried similar responsibilities. Their knowledge was tested repeatedly throughout their lives. A mistake could affect inheritance, land ownership, or political authority. These individuals were not merely storytellers, they were guardians of legal memories. These individuals were not merely storytellers, they were guardians of legal memories. Without them, entire system of justice could disappear. These were the griots. The guardian of the law. The griots. What happened to this legal system? During the colonial era, many traditional courts were replaced or restricted. European legal courts gradually became the official system of government. Some customary laws survived alongside modern courts. Others were forgotten. Yet, even today, Traditional disputes resolution remain important in many African communities. The principle of dialogue, reconciliation, and community participation continue to influence justice across the continent. The written law became dominant, but the oral law never completely disappears. The written law became dominant, but the oral law never completely disappeared. This is the modern court that was brought by the colonial masters and then utterly destroyed the traditional customary laws. How Africa's forgotten legal system reminds us that justice does not begin with books. It begins with trust, memory, and shared responsibility. For centuries, community maintained order without printed constitutions or written statutes. Their laws lived in the wisdom of elders, the memories of historians, and the conscience of the people. Perhaps the greatest lesson this system offers today is that true justice is not measured only by punishment, but by a society's ability to restore peace, protect family, fairness, and preserve human dignity. If you had to choose, would you trust a court guided by a written law or one guided by collective wisdom of an entire community? I want you to comment, share, and subscribe.